turns out I'm off. Surprise! So I'm going to go ahead and start social media-ing, give you a little peek behind the curtain of all the BS I have to deal with in order to try to get anyone to watch at all. It's a nightmare. Okay. Got 2 new likes in the last month. No, 3 new likes in the last month. Okay. And Steve Grund. Because why not? Anyway, that is surprise. Self-work today and didn't know it. Streaming Cardfight Vanguard. I know I give a lot of peeks behind the curtain, but I mean, I'm tired. When you're tired, you make mistakes, or you intentionally do stuff that's stupid. Today, in about 20 minutes. It's going to be sooner than that, but twitch.tv / my brand. I don't have money to throw into turning my posts into ads, so yeah, I'm throwing all my money into getting equipment before I start throwing all my money into advertising. I know, it sounds backwards, but it's like you're caught between this whole, you gotta be authentic and you gotta be honest with, you gotta create good content. It's like, I'm more on the authentic and honest side than on the entertainment value, and I acknowledge that. So, that's Facebook. I'm not sharing that to Insta today. No, scratch that. I am sharing that to Insta. Because why the F not? Oh, hi, Chilton. Oh, God. Well, that was not what I was expecting. Give me a moment. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay. my location. Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook. Again. And share. Check my. Well, I've got a lot of Vocaloid stands happy that I'm actually an American Vocaloid producer because they have seen so few. Okay. Go back to this page. Reshare now that that's been posted. Oh, right. Not error. Okay. No. Now we're ready to start cooking. Also, there's this. There's also the VP double campaign going on. So I got some decisions to make. First things first, I need to turn the music and the voices off. Because although it could drive up clicks, I'm actually wanting to listen to something while I'm doing this. So, first things first. Gold Paladins, hard mode. Fight. I'm gonna see if I actually know what it is I was doing wrong playing Gold Paladins. See if watching the AI do it a lot last night helped. All right, so perfect. Yeah, there's no way that's gonna hit now, but turn end. Let's go ahead and get this. Settings. Sound effects. Okay. Close. Wait. How did the superior call Ezel? Like, I know how to superior ride Blonde Ezel, but he didn't do that. Glitch, maybe? I'm not sure. Either way, I'm hoping. Yeah. Okay, I was right. Superior call. And I'm dead. Well, I was with the shot. Well, at least I now know what I was doing wrong, sort of. I'll set it to auto fight next time. But, pro tip, don't ever let the fact you lose at Vanguard discourage you from playing it. It's got a learning curve. It's not much. It's like a very tiny learning curve, but each new format has rules you have to learn in order to be able to handle it. And I still haven't figured out what the zeros is. Like, it's uncannily disturbing. Okay. Yeah, I'm listening to morning show. Sorry. Still lost. See, I gotta beat this with gold paladins one way or the other. So, I gotta. Oh yeah. There was an outbreak in Indiana. I completely forgot about that. I saw it on the news yesterday, and huh? Spike in cases caused by one person at a single event, and everyone who's been at that event who has been tested has come back positive. I might be exaggerating a bit, but that's the generalized concept of what an outbreak is. Maybe I should. This code changes. Cards. Okay. Need 1,000 of those small ones. Okay. just happened? Triple critical. Oh. Try again. True. Let's see. Coriander. Okay. Cardamom. Guess I'm just gonna go ahead and do it like this, yeah? Because there's no way I'm gonna win hard with what I've got right now. So. Dash of red chili powder. Rosemary. Parsley. Garlic. Basil. Sorry, I'm making breakfast. A little bit more basil. And dehydrated onion. Nope, that's it. Onion powder. And paprika. So something I haven't dealt with a lot during these live streams is the My Room function. So let's go ahead and do some stuff with that after I collect the reward for hitting the VP requirement for this level. Okay. Shop. Purchase. Purchase. Random visit. Okay. Okay. Eggs. let's go ahead and, I guess, hope beyond all hope. Let's see if auto fight will work. At getting me a hand that I can use. Let's turn auto fight off immediately. Auto off. Okay. I'm just gonna run it on autos this time. Because I obviously don't understand how gold paladins work. I don't know. So that's how he did it. Okay. Mhm. What? There we go. And I lost again. Right.
That's for Dad. Get your snout out of the door. Get your snooty little snout out of the door. That one's not you guys'. That one's not you guys'. You not interested in playing speaker? Good dude. You trapped it. You didn't bring it back. You trapped it. You did good. You did good. You chased it and you trapped it.
Finally.
Good day. Oh, Paul. Your leg still hurting? Okay, we won't play catch anymore.
Okay. So, got that out of the way. I guess while it's glitching, I can go ahead and do this. I'm not going to ask what you're laughing about because it might cause... Okay, good. It's nothing actually evil. Cute little things. Anyway. Add a couple more things. Oh. He really doesn't like Zazan, I'm guessing. Um, okay. Getting a bunch of background stuff to go. That way, if I take off the copyright people, I take them all off. And then something from a while ago that I haven't been able to watch because it was blocked in the United States. Until this week, and it's been on my list to watch. So give me a moment. Add. Then I don't know why it's saying I've watched it because I haven't yet. Save. Done. This one I know I have watched, but always helps to have. Okay. Remove the music. And play.
Is architecture sexist? This is something that I've never thought about. Never crossed my mind.
And it's glitching
But
still,
a
so
feminist author
rebooting.
has published a book. It's called Feminist City, and an excerpt from her book has been published on The Guardian, and it caught my attention. And I wanted to have an open dialogue discussion about it because I'm sure some people are going to disagree with me. Some people might not like what I have to say. But I think that this type of framing can be very disruptive to the left because it accuses things of being inherently sexist when I think in reality that was not the intention, not even close. So Leslie Kern is the author, and there were some good points mentioned in this excerpt, but I do also want to be clear that the good points mentioned by her have nothing to do with architecture. First of all, the piece is titled Upward Thrusting Buildings Ejaculating into the Sky. Do cities have to be so sexist? That's the headline. Subheadline reads, Toxic masculinity is built into the fabric of our urban spaces, writes Leslie Kern, author of the new book, Feminist City. And the results are just divisive. Aren't just divisive, they can be lethal. Okay. So I'm just going to read you some of this and we'll discuss. As the feminist geographer Jane Dark has said, our cities are patriarchy written in stone, brick, glass, and concrete. In other words, cities reflect the norms of the societies that build them, and sexism is a deep-rooted norm. All right, caught my attention. Make the case. continues to write, as far back as 1977, an American poet and professor of architecture named Dolores Hayden wrote an article with the explosive headline, Skyscraper Seduction, Skyscraper Rape. Hayden tore into the male power fantasies embodied in this celebrated urban form. The lower tower she wrote, the office tower she wrote, is one more addition to the procession of phallic monuments in history, including poles, obelisks, spires, columns, and watchtowers, where architects unironically use the language of base, shaft, and tip while drawing upward thrusting buildings, ejaculating light into the night sky. So she lost me there. And again, there were good points mentioned, even in this excerpt, right? But they have nothing to do with architecture. There is utility in the way these buildings are designed. And to be quite honest with you, I never looked at a skyscraper and thought about, I've never looked at a skyscraper and thought, oh, that's a massive penis that I'm about to walk into to take a meeting. But now I'm going to think about that. And I just don't think that these buildings were designed by all these architects with sex in mind. And when I say sex, I mean biological sex. I'm not talking about intercourse, right? Now, I was actually really happy that I read this because I learned about feminine aesthetics in architecture, which I think is fascinating, right? But so far, I'm not buying this argument that architecture, as it's been for so long, is the
Yeah. So
Stop.
let me acknowledge that, like you said at the beginning, there were some interesting points made there, and so when the author talked about how men might not understand how unsafe women feel walking in certain parameters and contexts within the cities, and how intimidating they can be. I thought that was such a great point, and one that we challenge folks to think about from a women's perspective all the time. We need to challenge men to think about women's perspectives and maybe build infrastructure within the cities with that in mind, as an example. Okay, so those are the good points. When you get to this whole idea of the buildings thrusting upward, for Christ's sake, right? I mean, it becomes a self-parody. What are they supposed to do? First of all, they're not thrusting anywhere. They're standing right there. They're building. They literally can't move, right? And if you have a light coming out of the building, it doesn't mean it's ejaculating the light. You made that up. That's not a thing, right? And if we build the buildings in the shape of women's body parts, I can guarantee you that they would also object to that and say it was part of the patriarchy. Imagine if we built buildings like women's breasts. They're like, look at these men obsessed with women's body.
No, but Jake, here's what my problem is. This is what my
Yeah,
problem
that's
is.
exactly what would be said.
Who cares what the buildings look like, right? Of course I care in that I like
Regardless.
aesthetically pleasing structures. But as a woman, I'm not going to see a building that resembles a vagina and feel empowered by that. I'm not going to feel like, oh my God, all of the inequalities or all of the stereotypes that women have dealt with have now magically gone away because I've seen a vulva-shaped building across the street. I don't care. I don't care. This is why I get frustrated with the left. And by the way, to be fair to her, I haven't read her whole book. I only read an excerpt of her book. And oftentimes the excerpts that get published are meant to be provocative in order to draw attention to the book. So I'm sure that there are valid, important points brought up in the book. But with that said, this nonsense about surface level, superficial actions, the performative nonsense, whether it be in response to accusations of racism or sexism or homophobia, transphobia, whatever it is, the surface level stuff means nothing. They do nothing to materially improve the lives of various disenfranchised groups, right?
Yeah.
So what I wanted to know while reading this was, okay, but how do these buildings, these masculine buildings, negatively impact the lives of women, right? What is the tangible takeaway here? And so there were some that we have in this country, or financial or economic inequality. And by the way, this author, I don't know where she's from,
Ish.
but this was written in the context of the UK. But we have similar issues, right? And so let me give you some examples that she raised that I thought were interesting. So she says, ask any woman who's tried to bring a baby carriage, that's what she meant, a baby carriage onto a bus, breastfeed in a park, or go for a jog at night. She intuitively understands the message the city sends her. This place is not for you. First of all, in America, you honestly can't breastfeed in a park without being harassed about it and shamed for it. So that's a huge problem in the United States. But let's say we're talking about a new mom who needs to breastfeed or pump while she's at work. Yeah, the company needs to make sure that there is a comfortable room for that woman to go and do that. That has nothing to do with phallic-like structures or the way these structures look. It has everything to do with the culture of companies and whether they're considerate enough to provide a safe environment for a woman to do what she needs to do to feed her child. Period. That has nothing to do with the aesthetics of a building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Look, it's nonsense. We're over talking about something that makes no sense at all. So I'm glad that we gave her credit for the things that are legitimate about city designs, but not about the buildings. So is the Ferris wheel in London is a giant part of the landscape? Is that an ode to patriarchy? I don't know. How do we design buildings in the shape of ovums? I don't know.
They exist. So finish your point, and then I'll tell you what the feminine design is.
Okay, the reason why the buildings go up is to preserve space. Because if you build them wide, it takes up more land. That's the number one reason. It's not because the guy wanted to be like, okay, let's do what I got. Oh, yeah, I'm going to build it really high. No, it was to fit within the city. And so, okay, here, I'll give you an example. When human beings, men and women, are standing up, oh, are you being phallic by standing up? You look like a phallic symbol. When we're lying down, are we more feminine? It's absurd when we stand up. Yes, we look more phallic. It's not because we're part of the patriarchy. Oh, I still look at your head. It looks like what does it look like? And your body maybe looks like a shaft. Maybe it does, but that's not the intent. Okay? And you've got to be able to make the distinction. Otherwise, look, you hurt the left by having people think that everyone on the left believes these absurd things that are untrue. And then, by the way, someone will say, Jake, Anna's allowed to say those things. You are not allowed to say those things because you're a woman, you're not a woman, and you don't understand. Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
I think we should actually expand that to more topics. So I do agree with that. But go ahead.
Thank you for allowing me to have this instance through the show. Seriously, guys, we got to let everybody talk, and they're part of that spectrum too, and they make some interesting points. But overall, this does not progressives when people make outlandish suggestions like this.
So I was unaware of this particular type of architecture until Brett Ehrlich told me about it. It's known as Ionic architecture.
Yep.
And if you look at examples of it, female genitalia in some cases. So, for instance, stadiums oftentimes are designed in a way where it resembles what some might argue is a vagina. In fact, that particular stadium is the planned stadium in Qatar for the World Cup in, I believe, 2022. And people kept calling it a vagina because it looks like one. But stadiums, by their very nature, are supposed to be a little more like wide, and they take up more space for obvious reasons. So to your point, Jake, I think that the skyscrapers are built because of the specific.
I'm mistaken out attacking with the Vanguard first.
Right? The specific use in mind when the architects are building it. I just think that we have way bigger fish to fry, and the legitimate issues that were brought up, at least in this excerpt, should be addressed. I just don't think that it has to do building design.
In Qatar, they're not building vagina stages because they are really sensitive to abuses of patriarchy. No, they built it. Why? Because a soccer field is why. You cannot play soccer in a skyscraper, and you cannot build a giant wide building in the middle of New York because it's too expensive. So, all right, but if you want to make absurd points and think that you're morally superior for making those points, have at it, Hoss. But the rest of us don't think it makes any sense at all.
When you sign up for a spend and save account at aspiration.com/TY.
You know how conservative media, conservative politicians love to talk about fake news on the left while failing to provide any actual evidence of fake news? Well, it turns out that it must have been projection because there's quite a bit of fake news happening on right-wing publications.
No shit,
And
Sherlock.
they got caught, they got busted, and had to take these posts down. So they published opinion pieces by so-called experts that are actually just fronts for shady conservative Middle East propaganda campaigns. And of course, it pushes for more war and all this nonsense. And the people who publish these opinion pieces don't even exist. They don't exist. One example is the gentleman you're about to see a picture of, Rafael Badani. Oh, who are you, Rafael Badani? Well, Rafael Badani he claimed to be a geopolitical risk consultant with an expertise in economics and politics. And by the way, how legitimate does that look? It looks super legitimate, but it
No.
turns out his articles, which have been printed in the Washington Examiner, Newsmax, Real Clear Markets, American Thinker, and the National Interest, are just full of crap. Again, he doesn't exist, and the op-ed shouldn't have been published. There should have been proper vetting to begin with. So the Daily Beast looked into this and found out that the profile picture used in these opinion pieces is one stolen from a San Diego startup founder. And also, after the release of the Daily Beast article on this, Bandani's profile has been deleted. His op-eds have been taken down from some of these publications. Newsmax deleted all articles by Badani and scrubbed his profile page, listing him as an insider, all without any editor's notes. The Post-Millennial, the Jerusalem Post, and the National Interest also deleted their articles without any statement. By the way, just to give you a little more context into what was done in these pieces, Badani is part of a network of at least 19 fake personas. 19, guys!
19 of them?
That has spent the past year placing more than 90 opinion pieces in 46 different publications. The articles keep praise
Wow.
the UAE and advocated for a tougher approach on Qatar, Turkey, Iran, and its proxy groups in Iraq and Lebanon. So basically, these hawks who want to engage in more war abroad.
So I'm going to give you a twist here on who I think might have done it. But first, some awesome details. So, first of all, Newsmax called Badani an insider columnist. I'm pretty sure he couldn't be inside your building if he doesn't exist. So, all 46 of these are anywhere from relatively to completely conservative publications, and apparently have no standards at all. They never met Badani or any of these other writers because they are fictions. And how could he be an insider if you've never had a conversation with him? If you don't even know who he is? But they're like, oh, he's an insider. Okay. And just a fun fact. He was described as a geopolitical risk consultant and interactive simulation designer. What does that even mean?
Means he's a robot. Duh.
It was interactive stimulation designer.
I'm sure that exists.
Badani.
Uh,
Okay. That's right. I'm Badani with it. So I think one of the weird things I caught, David Beeson didn't say this, but it kind of between the lines here. One of the 19 fake personalities claimed to be a ghost
Incoming
To
Sentinel.
me, that's the most amazing part. So,
Called it.
40 some odd publications busted. Okay, now people know we just make stuff up. We don't really care. We're conservative hacks, right? But Human Events and the Post Millennial are founded by NGO. Some of you guys might be familiar with him. His last name is NGO, and he does a lot of instigation here in America on behalf of far-right groups, and he's a notorious liar. And
Yeah, like so bad. Even I never heard of him.
People take it seriously, like, oh my God, it's Andy. No, what did he report?
Ugh.
Publications are not taking it down. They're like, good enough. What difference does it make? Everything we say, basically, what they're admitting is everything we say is fake. So what difference does it make if the fake news is delivered by a fake journalist or a real journalist? None of us are journalists, so it doesn't make any difference at all. But the part that drives me crazy, and I still got the twisted mind for you guys, but is that the mainstream media takes these publications seriously. They're like, oh, okay, well, those are real reporters. And then they get hired by CNN, they'll get hired by other people, they'll become like fancy White House force. So this cancer then spreads into the mainstream media. On the other hand, they wouldn't hire a great journalist like David Sirota if their life depended on it.
Yeah, good point.
Sirota breaks one amazing story after another, and I keep Ryan Grimman to Intercept. I give you a dozen examples, and that's about it. It's about 12 great journalists in America. Ever get hired by these publications. But clown hacks that work at these clown organizations get hired by CNN, New York Times, Washington Post all the time.
What was that name that your uncle called you once because you were like goofing around? Like, was it Pagliaccio or something? Yeah.
To be fair, it wasn't because I was goofing around. He just couldn't understand what a talk show host was. So he assumed that it was the equivalent of being a clown. So that's why he called me a Pagliaccio. He just literally thought that I was a Pagliaccio.
Oh my God. No, so I bring that up because that's what news organizations that are part of a giant media conglomerate want. They want Pagliaccios. They don't want David Sirota, who, by the way, just published an excellent piece about how millionaires and billionaires are like literally illegally dodging their taxes, and the reason that they do that is because the IRS has been defunded so successfully by conservatives, right?
I mean, I would say no shit Sherlock, but I suspected, but I've never heard it.
That doesn't bring in much money when it comes to tax dodging. But when it comes to millionaires and billionaires, we're talking about like $300 billion a year nearly in lost revenue because of the way the system is set up. Incredible. Yeah. And yeah, they don't want that covered in any media outlet, really. That's part of a conglomerate that has any type of financial interests at play.
Okay, so now here comes more fun in this story. So there's a couple of websites where some of the stuff originated and the bios lead back to, etc. Once the Daily Beast publishes their story, those sites immediately shut down, i.e. they're in the epicenter of the scam. One of them is called the Arab Eye, or was called Arab Eye. They write on their website that they are a bulwark against fake news. That's awesome. They're amazing. They have no conscience. So they're just like, let's do fake news and say we're against fake news, which is honestly exactly what Donald Trump does. And here's another one from a similar publication. Oh, I'm sorry. This is one of the articles written by one of the fake people. Okay, they wrote, the landscape highlights a fascinating case study of how fake news can affect regional political discourse. They were saying, oh, don't listen to anything on Al Jazeera. They're fake news. So you wouldn't want to listen to them. And then here's where the story gets serious. So these so-called writers targeted a person named Tuaka Karman. They're actually a Nobel Peace Prize laureate from 2011. And Facebook hired them to help curate news, from what I understand, as the Daily Beast explains. All these fake news folks targeted this guy and called her, I believe, since she had an extreme Islamist ideology, okay, and they thought Facebook should fire her. In other words, they wanted to cancel her. They made up things about her and they smeared her in an attempt to get her canceled, while the right wing pretends they're against cancel. So
Everyone's full of it when it comes to cancel culture. Everyone.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, people who wind up getting canceled,
Now, the
like,
twist.
half of them actually deserve it, the other half don't.
A lot of the stories they say,
It's a complicated issue. ContraPoints did a good video on it.
But Iran, we should invade. And Qatar is terrible. Iran, Qatar, and Turkey have a very loose, complicated alliance. The UAE, Saudi Arabia, and one other country is against. And that's the one not being talked about yet. The other country that's against that alliance is Israel.
Damn.
So as I saw how they did these fake personalities, here I'll give you one example from the Daily Beast. They say all the stolen avatars were mirror image reversed and cropped from their originals, making them difficult to find through common Google reverse image searches. Ain't nobody from the UAE doing that. Okay, you can say I'm a bad guy, but I would be shocked if UAE's intelligence operations were sophisticated enough to be able to hide their identities in the ways described in the Daily Beast. I don't know for a fact, so just take it for what it is. This is speculation. I know a group that's sophisticated enough to do that. Their name is called Mossad. One of the articles that for many of the articles, they're like, remember, Iran is terrible because of what they're doing in Lebanon. Who's interested in what Iran is funding in Lebanon?
Mossad.
So,
Obviously.
UAE, Saudi Arabia, Israel, or the U.S.
Makes sense.
What matters is these 46 publications don't give a damn about journalism. All they care about is, and they would never clearly label something like I just did. Hey, look, this is my speculation. Okay, you should support that, etc. I'm putting two and two together. You could put them together any way you like. But these publications, they don't care about any of that. They just think, does it fit the conservative ideology? Then print it. Who cares where it came from? I don't care if it's an intelligence operation or not. I don't care if it's spies or not. I don't even care if it's real or not.
Yeah, a handful of Onion articles wind up getting repackaged. It's that bad.
So that's what this is about. Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges.
Advanced right to grade 3, and he's got a special card
There have been a lot of
version of Mondazzle. That's whoever this person is. They've got a lot of love for the Gold Paladins. Let's say that.
Known as Midas Touch, and recently they took a dig at Trump in a campaign ad, in a political ad, I should say, where they used Kellyanne Conway's comments about creepiness against Donald Trump. Let's take a look.
A lot of really creepy statements, actions for sure, but statements that he's made in the past that make me very uncomfortable, certainly as a mother, as a person who breathes air.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
Really creepy statements.
If Ivanka wanted my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You're moving on. It makes me very uncomfortable that he would look at certain other Americans the way he apparently has in the past.
What does Tiffany have a problem? She's got those legs. She's got this part of it.
What's the favorite thing you have in common? Either real estate or golf. Donald, what's the favorite?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate her.
He's definitely not a typical father.
Awesome. That ad was great, and it also creeped me out, like big time. We've heard Trump make those statements about his own daughter before. We've talked about it before. Every time I hear it again, I have the same reaction. Like, I feel sick to my stomach. I could never imagine. Like, I
Mm.
I can't. It's so disgusting. I can't imagine. It triggers the gag reflex immediately. Like it makes me want to throw up. I can't believe he said that publicly, and he's made comments like that multiple times.
So, Kellyanne Conway, of course, was referring to Joe Biden, and I love the way they took it and applied it to Trump instead. And boy, does it fit better. They both might have issues, but Joe Biden's never threatened to have sex with his daughter. On the escalator, he was referring to, like, I think a 10-year-old girl, a 10 or 12-year-old girl, when he said, I'll be dating her in 10 years. So who thinks like that? Who looks at a 10-year-old girl and thinks,
That's the president.
10 years from now?
The kind of guy who hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. That kind of guy.
Exactly. The first clip was him and Jeffrey Epstein partying. And so there you go. So it's entirely possible. Look, out of all the weird, terrible things in that ad and all the things that Trump has done, the one that is most inexplicable is the one where he said, "What do you have in common with your daughter?" And he said, "Sex."
Yeah. That was the one that like made me gag. Like, why would you? What? Why would you say that?
Literally, why would you say that? I don't know what that means. How do you have sex in common with your daughter? And he's such a weirdo, man. And so it's about time that some Democrats, and in this case, of course, it turned out to be progressives, figured out how to fight back, right? Democrats don't make these kind of ads, the establishment Democrats, because they don't want to offend Republicans, because the Democratic consultants have the same donors as Republican consultants. So they're like, oh, kids clubs, right? And in this case, it's a progressive group, and they're like, no, let them have it. You want to talk about creepy? Is that the conversation we're having? Great. Let's have that conversation. Finally, if they ask them now, what attributes does Tiffany have in common with Marla, my guess is his answer would be, who's Tiffany?
Well, that is the best answer he can come up with, honestly, these days. Better than anything else that I would suspect from his mouth. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's totally true. And Tiffany Trump, if they told her, your dad hasn't mentioned you in a long time, she's probably be like, yes. When you sign up for a spend and save account at aspiration.com/TYT, we will plant 10 trees. Let's save the planet together.
ICE is set to launch a so-called Citizens Academy that would train average citizens on how to arrest undocumented immigrants. Considering the environment that we're currently living in and considering the insane uptick in hate crimes that have occurred since Trump went into office, this is a disastrous idea. The program is being called the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Removal Operation. ICE PRO. Now, community leaders in Chicago were actually alerted to an invitation that was sent out by Robert Guardian. He is an ICE director ICE field director in Chicago. And so he sends out these invites encouraging potential stakeholders, to take part in this 6-week training program to teach people how to do an arrest of undocumented immigrants. Now, let me just be clear that it's not that they're going to be in class or something every single day for 6 weeks. It will be a total of 1 day per week, meaning they're going to meet 6 times and get trained on how to do an appropriate arrest. Are you kidding me right now? So, according to Guardian's letter, the training would be held every Tuesday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at ICE's Chicago field office, starting on September 15th. And this is the pilot program. After the pilot program, they're planning on extending this or expanding this across the country. The program is the first of its kind, and I hope that there's enough backlash to this that they don't even try this pilot program, because it could be a disaster. Now, when Newsweek reached out to ICE, a spokesperson really tried to downplay the program. Nicole Albersico says that the academy is an extension of the community relations work ICE is already doing in the community. The goal is to build bridges with the community by offering citizens, regular citizens, on how to essentially profile people and try to arrest them, which could be which will be absolutely disastrous.
So even if you took ICE's word for the benevolent part of this program, that also would be a giant waste of time and money. So let's talk about that for a second. So they're saying, oh, we're going to get the community, invite them in, and show them how wonderful ICE is. Yeah, I mean, if there are any good parts, you're going to show them that. But you're not going to show them the kids in cages, and you're not going to show them when you abuse people. So that's not showing them what you do. You're not going to show them when you raid buses in the middle of New York and arrest everyone who looks Latino, which is what ICE has done in the past. So you're just going to show them propaganda. So at best, it's a total waste of time and money. But if that's all you're going to do, why did you say that you're going to teach people how to do citizens arrest? No, the real point is get lunatic right-wing vigilantes to do even worse stuff than you're doing.
Yeah,
And
that's
I mean, in order to be a cop or an ICE agent, it really doesn't take any training anyway. Tuesdays, 2 to 6 times. And then, go out there and kick some ass. Who cares? As long as
please
they
no
look proud.
sentinel.
That's what we do at ICE. So I think they might have shown what ICE
Please no
actually
sentinel.
does.
Please no sentinel.
So ICE is only emboldened by Donald Trump. So I find it interesting that they tried to kind of like minimize the whole citizens arrest aspect of this program, because you watch how Trump emboldens them when he speaks during his rallies. In fact, here's a recent speech he gave where he specifically talked about what ICE should do.
These ICE people, they love our country. They're proud and they're tough people. And they'll go right into a pack. They call it a pack. And they start swinging, everyone's swinging, and they end up standing up. That's the end of that. And you know what they do? They bring the MS-13 and many other gang members and other rebels back to El Salvador, back to Honduras, back to Guatemala, back to Mexico.
Now, people who are sitting behind him or standing behind him are supposed to be his supporters. I mean, they're there to see him speak in the middle of a pandemic. But it looks like some people in the audience were uncomfortable with the statements. Let's take a quick look at that.
They'll go right into a pack. They call it a pack. And they start swinging, everyone's swinging, and they end up standing up. That's the end of that. And you know what they do? They bring the MS-13.
Hey, lady, you're in the wrong room. Get out. Get out. Get out. How do you not know at this point that this is who Donald Trump is? He encourages the violence. He encourages the division and the hate in this country. He thrives off of it. That's what his first campaign was mainly about.
Yeah.
He's leaning into that again for his re-election campaign because he's failed in every other regard.
Yeah. Maybe somebody took a picture with a flash right before he said that. So, get out. So, look, that's who Trump is. And the bureaucracy is not yet completely fascist. It's an ironic thing to say about ICE. But, like, the PR people don't realize, and I think they will in the second term, that you're just supposed to flat out say it out in the Trump administration. They still, try to pretty it up. Like, oh, yeah, we will show you wonderful facilities and, and these great, well, not cages, but, wonderful fenced-off areas that we have them in. Because it's old habits die hard, right? Whereas in the second term, I guess, they'll be like, yeah, this is where we cage people, and then we get in a pack and we start kicking the living crap out of them. And, I mean, the president says it, so we now proudly declare it. And most people that are Trump supporters are like, yes! And then name random Latin American countries. Guatemala. And I know you can name them in some weirdly, theoretically scary way.
Thanks for watching The Young Truth. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis.
Please say.
You've got emojis of
I've not had anyone play this,
so those are super fun. But you also get
that particular build yet that played it seriously.
So all that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video.
According to a recent interview with Elaine Duke, who was Donald Trump's former acting Secretary of
security. She claims that in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria that absolutely decimated Puerto Rico, that Donald Trump had actually considered selling the U.S. territory because he simply didn't want to deal with the problem. According to Duke, this is what Trump said. Can we outsource the electricity? Can we sell the island, or divest of that asset? Divest of that asset. Now, for those of you who aren't fully familiar with financial industry jargon, divest of the asset means get rid of it. You've got an asset that's not performing well, that's not doing well, that's just bringing you down, so you divest of it, which means to simply get rid of it. And that's what Trump wanted to do, according to Duke, with Puerto Rico. Why? Because Republicans wanted to run the government like a business, and that's how you would run a business.
Yeah.
But that's why running the government like a business is an insanely stupid idea, because it's not the same thing, and it can never be the same thing. You can't run a government like a business, just like you can't run a business like a government. See, governments are okay running massive amounts of debt. They're okay going over their budget. But what they always have to do, whether they want to or not, it always comes back to you got to take care of the people in your country, because if you don't, then you're going to have some real problems on your hand. Businesses, on the other hand, don't necessarily have to do that. All they have to do is worry about making more money than they spend. That's why the two cannot be run in the same method. But Trump thought he could bring the business savvy to the United States, and to be honest, he has. He's bankrupting this country much like he bankrupted 7 different businesses when he was in the private sector. He is not good at this, and his history shows that he is not good at this. But with Puerto Rico, that's what he wanted to do, because it was difficult, because it was tough, because he didn't know how to handle this specific situation, so he thought the best way to handle it was to just pass it off to somebody else and let them handle it. These people on the island of Puerto Rico are American citizens. This is an American territory. They have the same rights that we have. They don't necessarily have all the same benefits that we have.
Nope.
Seeing as how we don't let them have proper representation in Washington, D.C., which is one of the reasons they need statehood.
Yep.
That's a conversation for a different day. But right now, we have to deal with the fact that we have a
They
president
seriously wanted to divest the United States' interest in Puerto Rico?
that he was willing to
Oh,
literally
Lord.
sell them to anyone who was willing to
That's-
pay the price so that he didn't have to deal with them anymore. This man actually wanted to get rid of part of America because he didn't know how to handle it. And of
That's
course, because they
that's bad on a whole nother level.
he wanted to sell part of the country.
All right. Alright, after this fight, I'm gonna have to call it quits for today. I've got stuff I gotta do. Gonna be working on that song again. But the fact we're both actually using the same deck, almost, it looks like. Not just the same clan, like the same main strategy. He probably has more of the cards for the strategy, though. No trigger. Oh. Okay. I was waiting for this. Mm-hmm. Valid. Okay. I'm needing to hit the restroom anyway, so calling it quits here. See y'all tomorrow after I get off work.